Hi guys, and welcome to Dee's Media World. Today I'll be reviewing the new episode of Steven Universe, Sadie Song. So as you can tell by the title, this is obviously a Sadie episode. So it kind of begins with Steven going to see Sadie. Well, he's actually giving out Beach-a-Palooza flyers to the town. And actually, this was a homage to when he had Beach-a-Palooza, I believe, last year with Steven and the Stevens. So we're sort of seeing this continuity. And he's giving away the flyers, and he hears Sadie singing, and she has a cute singing voice, and he's like, wow, I didn't know you could sing. Why don't we, explode and make your career, make basically a career out of this? You sing at the Beach-a-Palooza, we're gonna make it, a big deal. And then her mother gets involved, and yada yada. The reason I can't even finish the summary is because growing up watching, TV shows with kid shows, TV shows with like parents and children relationships, we've seen this kind of, and I know you've seen it too. You've seen this story like 100 times, but even more than 100 times, like 100,000 times. I've seen the same plot. Like, the character who doesn't really want to do something, but they have like the overbearing either parent or friend who's like, oh no, you can do it, without really caring what they want. And then at the end of the episode, like right before the big show, they're like, no, I actually don't want to do this. And they stand up for themselves, and everything's all right in their world, and we move on. This episode is okay. And I realized that I'm not upset about it or anything because I don't think this episode was for me. As I said, I've seen this episode growing up many times, this kind of plot many times. So I understand that this episode was definitely probably meant for a younger audience who hasn't seen this kind of this recycled plot, and they might need that boost. Like, just because it's not for me, it could still be for some other kid or some other adult who feels like, oh, they can't tell their parents that they don't want to do XYZ thing. That's very relatable. My only problem with it is that it's so recycled. Like, once it starts rolling, like once Sadie's mom gets in there with Steven and starts like, oh my gosh, let's throw this and do this and this. I'm like, oh no, I already see like where it's going, and I know it's how it's going to end. And it goes pretty much exactly like that. There are a couple exceptions, but for the most part, it sticks to the straight and narrow and just does the same thing I've seen 100 times with this kind of plot. To some small things I've noticed, what I do like about the show and this episode. There's kind of two different types of episodes. There's sort of the magical ones that deal with like some of the aliens, crystal gem stuff, and then there's the ones that kind of deal with the townspeople and are on a more, relatable scale, like things that you see kind of every day. And this is definitely one of those episodes. Um, but for starters, I really like the song they sing. I think it's called "I'm Too Famous" or something like that. The songs are still great in this episode, despite it being such a recycled plot. The song isn't, and I really enjoyed that. I am positive that Olivia Olson, who is the voice of Marceline from Adventure Time, was singing over that homage of them doing Sadie's makeup. I am positive that's her because she sounded just like her. I'm sure that's her. Another thing, I sort of like the relationship with Sadie and her mom, or at least I like Sadie's mom. We actually have seen Sadie's mom previously. I believe it was that episode. I don't remember the name of it, but it was the one when Jamie was in love with Garnet, and like Sadie's mom actually took over as the main male woman or something like that at the time. And I was like, oh yeah, she looked just like Sadie. They didn't say it at the time, but I'm like, yeah, this isn't the first time we've seen Sadie's mom. I did like her personality. I did like her overactive kind of super cheerleader mom. It was kind of cute, even though I could see how that could get really freaking annoying. But I'll get more into Sadie's mom in a minute. I liked the scary Sadie. So when they show Sadie's makeup after, like, they kind of build it up, and they won't show her face. Her back is towards the audience and towards us and stuff. When they actually show us Sadie's makeup, I actually jumped back because it was so scary looking. It was so bad. She didn't look like herself at all, and that creeped me out and cracked me up at the same time. I'll give them that. I actually liked some of the things I've just mentioned. I think that I don't know what the relationship with like Rebecca Sugar's relationship with moms are, because this is the second episode in a row that kind of deals with mom and daughter relationships. We just had one last week with Connie, and now we have one with Sadie. And the reason Sadie's isn't as interesting is because, for starters, as I said, we've seen this plot many times, but that we haven't seen any of this before. Like, this is really our first interaction with Sadie and her mom, and we haven't seen her before, so it's kind of like, oh, okay, whatever, she. And then it's also so typical, in certain regards. But I like that Sadie's mom gives her like a teddy bear and thinks of her, and it does cute things for her. I like that. But I still was kind of like, oh, we just saw this last week in such a better way. Last week's episode was so much better than what they were doing with this. But I feel like maybe they said, hey, maybe we need to say this message again or something. Maybe there's a kid out there who needs something like that. Or maybe they just said, we need an episode with Sadie and not Lars involved. So let's show one with her and her mom, I guess. But I feel like they could have still done more with that. Um, and also, this episode, everything is kind of wrapped up in this one episode. So, like, I don't really see them going anywhere forward with this. Like, as I said, we haven't seen Sadie's mom interact with Sadie before. So, it wasn't like this was built up to. This was just like all started kind of in this one episode for us as the audience to see. And then it was resolved at the end with her telling her mom, I don't want to sing. I don't want to do all this. You always are pushing me to do stuff I don't want to do, or you're blowing it out of proportion. And it's like, yeah, we solved it all like it was a sitcom. It's all over, and there's 11 minutes. So I don't know. I felt like that it was kind of a little pointless, but once again, maybe it just wasn't for me. Overall, well, I think this was a cute episode. I think it was mostly forgettable. I do like the song. That's still actually stuck in my head. If I remember anything from this episode, is the song. I think I also never noticed that Sadie was like as short as Steven. Like, it just clicked today when I looked at her. I was like, oh my gosh, she's like shorter. She's like, I think she might be like a little taller than Steven, but she's practically the same height. But any case, the Steven cross dressing was funny. It's cute. Maybe that's what the episode was about. Steven really just wanted to cross dress at the end of the day. But any case, it was okay episode, kind of forgettable. Oh, and where are the crystal gems? Like, seriously, 2 episodes without the crystal gems in it. We can't do a third episode without them. I'm sorry. I need another episode with Garnet. I need another episode with Pearl and Amethyst. Please. And maybe I don't know if there's something going on with the voice actors or something where they had to maybe air these episodes differently, because maybe they're just not available to do some of these episodes, because it's 2 episodes in a row about sort of the same topic, the overbearing mom, and then there are also no crystal gems even mentioned. They're not even mentioned in this episode, like I said last week. I'm really hoping to see them next week, so I guess I'll see you guys next week then. See ya.